Good morning, and welcome to Ask the Shaman. It's a beautiful morning. I'm grateful to be here. Good morning, everyone. It's your host, Anthony Golden Sunshine, your friendly neighborhood shamanic priest. I just love the show. I love to get on here and do the show and be with everybody. So good morning. And the floor is open for any questions. The name of the show is Ask the Shaman. So if you have spiritual questions, life questions, I'm a certified life coach as well. I'm very good at helping people find solutions to life's challenges. I personally like to replace the word challenge or problem with opportunity. That's been very powerful for me. My personal journey is using my attention to be able to shift my internal voice, my internal self-talk, the things I say to myself. When I'm telling myself something's a problem or an issue, or, you're making a mountain out of a molehill per se. Not saying that things aren't difficult. They're meant to be difficult, but if you look at it a different way, if you accept the difficulty as opportunity to grow, like an exercise, it changes everything. So I love to bend the language, so to speak. Let's see who's with us this morning. Angela Heckert, good morning, my dear. Forks Fellowship Council, great morning. Good morning. Angelica, good morning. 1 million Buddhas. Good morning, brother. Forks Fellowship says, were you just gifted or did you need to learn your skills from a shaman? I'll get right back to that question, Forks. And Angela O'Connor. So that's a great question. I'm going to answer that question. I like that question. Were you just gifted or did you need to learn your skills as a shaman? So I'm a Kamaska, which means I'm a naturally born shaman. So from the time I was about 3, I started to communicate with spirit. I didn't live in a home that was conducive to that or supportive to that model. So I was kind of steered away from it. I've been sensitive my whole life, all the way up until I became very sick. Okay. I'd say I've had different layers of spiritual awakening my whole life, but I'd say a big jump in that was when I became terminally ill. And it was during that terminal illness that I would say I really got a strong connection with spirit. I really started to be able to communicate with my higher mind and with higher divine intelligence. So I believe for me at that time is really when the divine intervention came in and it began to really shift my awareness and my gifts really began to open. I didn't have any human teachers until about late 2020, early 2021. And so still so far, the only real human teacher I've had is my shamanic teacher, Donzing Kerfman. I did end up learning. I am an initiated priest of an ancient form of energy medicine from Peru called the Paqo Kuna Tradition. And so I'm traditionally classically trained in this tradition. I'm an initiated priest. I did become part of an IU, a living tradition. This is a living tradition. So it's not like here's the rules and that's it. Essentially, priests like myself are put out into the world and we're here to create medicine as well. So on my journey, that's something I like to do is I spend a lot of time creating new ways to heal not only myself, but help others. Because in the big grand spectrum of things, For me, my biggest awareness is that we're meant to improve flow of light through the being. This is what really brings forward our consciousness. And a requirement to be able to do this is to peel away the layers of shadow, an incessant thinking mind and fear. There's a lot of work that needs to be done for someone to begin to open up their energetic and spiritual awareness. It's different for everybody. Some people, it's like myself, very natural. It opens all on its own. For many others, it may require reading 1,000 books that, begins to bring new knowledge and information. That's something that a lot of people ask me. They'll be like, hey, do you got a good book that I could read about, shamanism or spirituality? And I don't really read books. That's not how it works for me. My connection, I learn mostly directly from source. So I hope that answers some of the question. Great question, by the way. I love it. But no, I guess I would say, yes, I am gifted and I didn't need to learn from another shaman. That was necessary. That all had to happen in order for me to have a, a structure in which to place my energy. How does one go about peeling back the layers of shadow? Well, first is awareness, okay? Unless you're aware of your shadow, you can't do anything about it. And so not all humans are. So this comes down to what makes you aware of your shadow is your suffering, okay? So your suffering or your drama is very proportionate to the damage to the subconscious and ego mind. It's very much in alignment there. So for a lot of people, it requires some suffering. It requires some things have to happen to open your eyes, and you have to make a decision. Because when we're faced with those challenges, which are opportunities, but if the mind is in that this is a problem, it's when there's a problem arises, we kind of have only 3 real choices. And that's accept it, change it, or leave it. That's it. There's really no other choices. All the choices we make is what leads us into suffering. But that's going to require awareness. So the first step is awareness. I help people cultivate deeper awareness by becoming aware of their breathing. So that's a really powerful tool in which that I employ, and is a big cornerstone of my medicine way as a shaman. I'm essentially like a breath shaman. Using your breath has the capability to shift your frequency. It can shift your vibrational frequency. In a more physical term, it can take you from a sympathetic dominant state, which would be, a fight or flight mode, into a parasympathetic dominant state, which is your fight or your rest and digest mode. So moving from fight or flight survival mode into thrive mode is essential. And for most human beings, they have no idea how to do that. And so many of them do not like it that it's something as simple as breathing. Okay. And then you'll ask me, well, what kind of breathing is that? Well, one of the most powerful ways that you can access your parasympathetic state is to learn, one, how to use the diaphragm. So it means breathing into the belly, then up into the chest. Not most of us, when we breathe in, the belly sucks in and the chest and shoulders rise. Test your breath right now. You can find out right now if you have an inverted breathing pattern. 9-ish out of 10 people do. So when you're breathing in, noticing where your air is going, what's happening with your belly. The thing is to begin to reverse that breath pattern, and I'll have people put their hands on their belly and breathe into the hands. Learning how to use just not even the chest really at all, just the belly. See, my chest and shoulders didn't rise. Then the second part is after you get used to just using already, I got lots of tingles. But anyways, once you get used to that vibration and opening in the belly, using the belly, then you start to make it like a wave. Then it's belly, chest. See, my chest grew that time. But first my belly expands, then the chest and shoulders. And so what's happening is 2 things, 2 really powerful things physiologically. One of them is fluid dynamics. So you're 60 to 65% fluid, and these fluids can become very stagnant. When they become stagnant, you're not moving energy. So another way to look at energy is nutrition, fluid, blood, lymph, cerebrospinal fluid, interstitial fluid, all those things. So fluid is also energy. It's life. And when we begin to move the fluid, now we're moving the fluid through the organs, up through the vertical column. And this essentially what's been shown is this can push blood, lymph, and cerebral spinal fluid into the brain, which helps to heal your brain. Which that's a whole nother thing I'll get into. I love to study neurology and brains and all those things. I really enjoy that kind of stuff. So that's something I've learned, and that's really what the deepest form of healing is. And that's what shadow work is healing your brain and nervous system, because our shadow is comprised of unresolved emotional data, heavy energy, hucha, as we call it in our tradition. So it's a form of heavy energy, and it needs some help to move. The first step is getting in tune with your breath. So I have most people who face a lot of anxiety and fear and trouble in their life. The first thing is we get them breathing, because one, you're oxygenating your cells. It's really good for your body. You're oxygenating your body. You're having a big gas exchange. You're over oxygenating the cells. And then we do apnea breath holds. So during the breath hold, your body uses all the oxygen and replaces it with carbon dioxide. This is the vast exchange of gas that doesn't normally happen. So you're using more of the physiology. And when we use more of the physiology, this unlocks the innate potential of the human being. I can't put it any more simple than that. Our comfortability, our seeking of comfortability in our human lives has led to our illness and weakness. This is also why I do things like cold exposure, okay? Taking a cold shower, a cold bath, ice baths, very, very powerful for stimulating the nervous system, for shifting the nervous system, teaching you how to handle stress. And then there's a bunch of other kinds of benefits that go along with that. That's just kind of one benefit. That's a big benefit. All the things that happen with the cold allow you to be able to handle stress, allowing you to change things. Another thing is with your breathing, this affects us. I did a big talk about it last week about the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is a very powerful tool. And when we can tune that vagus nerve, that has a lot to do with how we're perceiving reality and how we feel and what's going on. Vagus means wandering. The vagus nerve is the wandering nerve. It's the 10th cranial nerve of 12. It connects to various different organs and parts, even parts of your face, all kinds of things, your lymph system, your lymphatic system. And when you attenuate this, there's all kinds of information and studies showing that it improves flow of information between the heart, the gut, and the brain. So when I'm breathing, I'm also sending information from my belly up to my heart and up to my head. And when I exhale, I drop back down into my belly and then back up here, then down. This is visualization. So you can begin to visualize your energy. And then I add another thing, eye movement, because most of us, we have brain issues because of this screen time thing that we're doing all the time. The eyes stay fixed here. So there's many treatments where people use eye movement. I'll use this with certain clients, and I'll use breath. So I'll try this, look all the way left and taking a deep breath, far left, far as they go. And then as your eyes shift to the right, exhale, look right, far as you can go. And then taking a deep breath. You're looking out here. And as you exhale, shift your eyes this way. So you can go up, down, left, right, diagonals. Moving your eyes around stimulates the brain. Simple things. These are all free things. I teach people the greatest, most free ways for them to heal themselves. And then I also offer personal sessions to help people to go even deeper. And many of the people that are here with us right now have done personal sessions with me. If you've done a personal session with me and you've enjoyed it, please say something about that. That's always important. I'm always asking for people to make posts or testimonial of some sort, because people need to see other people's stories. It's really important. I can sit here and talk all day, but that's just me. If you can hear from someone else how the things we do are helpful to them, I think it's really helpful. La, la, la. So that's how one begins to peel back the layers of shadow. Is one, first, awareness that you want to change. Okay. Do you want to change? Some people don't want to change. Some people say they want to change, but aren't willing to show up either. So it really comes down to, do you want to change? After that, it's kind of a case-by-case basis. First is we get you breathing. The next is I have you sit with me in a private session, And we begin to take apart your mindset, your lifestyle, the way you think, your background, your history. We start to look at all these things. What's creating the story in which is generating your discomfort, your fear, and anxiety in your life or blockage? Some people, it's not that there is a big problem. Some people, they show up to me in just like a professional aspect. I have a hard time staying focused at work. Okay, that's your primary goal. I can help you do that. I help people achieve goals. You want to get better at something? I'll help you train your mind to do it. There's many, many ways that that can happen. So, I work with sports athletes, veterans, elderly people, people who are recovering from addiction, people that have been diagnosed with incurable mental illness, realtors. I have lots of realtor friends. That's something that's really amazing. Other healers and other types of teachers, autistic people. What else? There's really no limit to anyone that wants to make a change in their life. I'm here to help facilitate that. Yeah. Okay. Tom Thompson's here. Morning, Anthony. Morning. Hey, Angela. Hope you're feeling a little bit better today. Thanks, Tom. Yeah, Angela, I hope you're feeling better today. I've done personal treatments with Anthony and it's changed my life. Thank you, Jilly. I'm glad that we've been here to change each other's life. All right. I'm waiting on another question. Somebody got another question or a topic they'd like to discuss? As that's coming up, I want to talk about the upcoming events. There's a breathwork group tonight. Okay, so we do breathwork mindset, a little bit of meditation. That's really fun. So there is 3 classes every week. I have one on Sunday, one on Tuesday, and one on Sunday, one on Monday, one on Tuesday. The Tuesday one will change, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So the Monday morning is meditation. So we get together in a group. I lead a meditation, call in spirit and energy, and it's really vastly powerful because it's just like prayer. When you put more people together, it's got more power. There are misconceptions people have where they think that if it's virtual, that doesn't work or it's not as powerful. But it totally does, because when you understand energy doesn't know time or distance. So in many ways, I find the distance ones to be even more powerful for me. That's how I feel about it. But nonetheless, they're great. We're coming together and we're vibrating in a common field. And then plus you learn something about meditation. I have a very specific ways in which I help people learn how to tune their frequencies to make things happen in their life. I mean, it's happened for me. I've manifested a healthy body. I'm approaching half a century old, but you couldn't tell me. I feel sub 30 to be really honest. Somebody asked that the other day. If you didn't know your age, how old would you say you are? I'm like, well, I guess I would guess probably 28, 27 to 28. That's about how I feel physically. Felt about 300 when I was dying from lung disease. So, I manifested a completely different life to where I started from, and I continue to. So I know I got a beautiful gift, and my biggest goal is to share that with as many people as possible and help them open their gifts. I'm a leader of a spiritual community and a spiritual life. I live life sacredly, and I love everybody. And that's what keeps me motivated and keeps me going. Is my love for everyone and life and the world. I have a zest for life, and I love it. I just love everything. I'm about to cry. It's making me so happy in the moment. But we have a breath work tonight, okay? And so breathwork group, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. And then the next event will be a meditation group again on Sunday. We have Energetic Harmony, a journey of breath, meditation, and sound at Sacred Waters next Wednesday, the 21st. Full Snow Moon, Sacred Bath and Ceremony at Yogi's Karma. That's in North Ridgeville, February 23rd. Breathe and Blossom at Flows and Grows in Crocker Park, March 2nd. And then what I'm really, really excited about is the next wave. This will be the 4th class of Shamanic Training Level 1, okay, courses 1 through 8. So it's an 8-week course, the shamanic training. It's going to begin Tuesday, March 5th. And that's why I'm going to move my Tuesday breathwork to a different day, because I like to do my shamanic work on Tuesdays. This is kind of also in alignment with, what the ancient Paqos did. They usually only did healing on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I choose Tuesday to do my shamanic trainings. They last somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours each class. There are some directions, some things you'll need to bring. They're very amazing. What we do is, in this particular course, this is like my first beginner course. And what it does is we take a deep dive into understanding your personal energy, understanding your personal being. And then along with that, I have some assignments and practices for you to adopt and use. And what these do is begin to help you to understand and find yourself. The path of the shaman is not something that's really glamorous. It's very, very difficult, mostly because of we're met with ourself. To become a shaman, to really become a shaman, one is learning to master themselves. So a translation of what does shaman mean? It means one who knows themselves, is what I would say. Knows the self, the higher power. That's probably one way to put it. Another way I would say is one who walks the way of the master. That's the whole idea, is to master yourself. Through your self-mastery, this enables you to be able to open up and facilitate healing for others. It's basically, think of it as a neurological system. If you improve your coherence and flow of light and information, this rubs off on the others. Just like other things, heavy energy does the same thing. Anger, rage, sadness, people can rub that off onto each other, but we can do the same thing with consciousness and love. And that's amazing. All right, let me see where we're at here. We got a bunch of stuff. Oh man, awesome. I went from 25% heart function to a 50% chance of being alive to 55% heart function in a year. I was blessed to see Anthony in that year. He felt where more damage was. A Nike Kuyaiki, Urpichai Sonkonchai, Munaicha so Paiki. Thank you, Brother Tom. A Nike Kuyaiki, Wilkanuna Wakichai. I'm full of tingles right now, Tom. Your story is beautiful. Whoosh. Woo. Anybody else feel that? Gosh. It's like a hug from God. That's what it feels like. Thank you, Tom. That's wonderful. I can't wait to see what happens next, 55, from 25 to 55%. That's amazing. What else can you do? Can't wait to see. I had my first session with Anthony yesterday. It was so powerful. I connect with ancestors and our beloved Pachamama. It was an amazing experience that helped me to understand my path. Anaiki Kuyaiki Urpichai Sonkolai. Thank you. I love you. A dove from my heart. Thank you. Thank you. I love it. I love when people share. My personal sessions with Tony and Mary have been really transformative. They have helped me overcome some really tough mental issues and release a lot of stored emotions and pain. I am a new person. Yes, you were reborn. Gosh, again, I want to thank you all. As you're sharing, I feel so much light and energy coming into me. Blessings to us all. Thank you, Angela. Between Western medicine and Anthony's hands-on work, I'm virtually healed. You are, Tom. Amazing. I am so happy and proud for you. Yes. Can you perform your services regarding shadow work remote virtually? Yes, absolutely. I can. I sure do. Anthony, whether in person or virtual, is on a very short list of people who I would feel palpable energy flow. After one session, I felt a change that went on for 2 days. We're still all changing. That's the amazing part. We change each other. That's the thing. Like I was saying, it's part of a neural network. Like, in the human physical world, they call me a shaman or a healer. Those are ideas and concepts. I have a much different concept at a deeper level. Like I was saying, it's like a neurological network. Like I'm a neuron, the other shamans are neurons. And what they do is it takes in information, the information of light, or what the human mind may call God or creator. Taking that in, we absorb it, makes changes within us, and then we can radiate it. And that's really how this works. It's a neural kind of flow and connection. We're helping each other change the flow of life. So when other people, when we get together in groups, like right now, like this group we have here, I can feel the conscious people that are here, the living life that is here. And when we're talking about each other's stories, it's flooding me with energy and light. It's just beautiful. These are the kinds of things that are capable by us working together and being together. I love it. Forks Fellowship Council. I just know my virtual session with group or individual created change in me. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. 1 million Buddhas. Working with Anthony has been awesome. I love pineapple people. We love you too, Mark. Thank you. 1 million Buddhas. I love 1 million Buddhas. It's still one of my favorite things to say. We were talking about it last night in our manifestation group. Yeah. So I never got Sunday manifestation, Sunday meditation, Monday manifestation, Tuesday is breathwork mindset. So those are the 3 classes. But last night we were in a class and we were talking about 1 million Buddhas. We were talking about you, Mark. What a fantastic being you are. So that's cool. Does anybody have any questions about the shaman course or the shaman class? Do you know anybody that's on the path and would like to become more attuned into their healing capacity and capability? This is for you. Okay. It's very powerful at the very minimum. Even if you don't become a healer and in that kind of capacity, what it can do for you at the deepest level is amazing. It can change you in a really big way. Helps you to know yourself. Know thyself. Mm-hmm. Oh, 1 million Buddhas. All right. I think what I want to do is I'm going to do a little bit of breath with you all today. Do some breathing, just some relaxed type breathing. Actually, I'll talk about 3 types of breathing today. I'll tell you about 3 primary types of breathing. I love to teach this. This is, kind of part of Breathwork 101. That's something else I'm working on, is actually a Breathwork certification program. I want to create more breathwork facilitators in the world. I would say, hands down, I don't know if there's anything more powerful and mind-changing than developing a practice to breathe, and then all the things that come along after. Before we begin breathing, I recommend you clear your nose, blow your nose. I'm going to do mine. So please excuse me. I'm going to test my horn. Yep. Horn's good. Now we're going to turn on the lights. So I use my breathing. It's a very sacred kind of tool for me. So I use it in a sacred way. And what I do is I like to start kind of with a prayer. So I bring my hands here in front of me, standard prayer position. And what I'm doing is I'm praying. And so that's up to you. You know, your belief system is your own. No, don't let someone else tell you what your belief system should be. Okay. That's religion. And I don't teach it in that way. I want you to love whatever your religion is, whatever it is that calls to you. I want you to be the best at that. Do the best with that. And so what you do is when you pray, the first thing I do is I call out. I'll use my voice. I'll call out to the highest power, right? Usually for me, it's prayers in Quechua. I'm a Peruvian nature mystic. So I like to communicate to them in Quechua words. This vibration kind of happens. But your language is just fine. And it could be something as simple as, highest power, I call you here to me. You can use better words, use prettier words. Great and wonderful creator and creatress of the living universe, I ask you to come here unto me and bring to me your highest power, knowledge, downloads, awareness. Help me to become the greatest version of me in a vessel of light in which I can emit loving frequency into the world and create change and unity and harmony. Bring to me your loving energy. Okay, so there's an example. Take some time, say some words, say some beautiful words. Okay, you're talking to your higher mind, to the higher self, to the highest power, to God, calling God here. And then as I call God here, what I'm doing is I open up my energy field. Okay, so you have an aura, an energy field. And what I do is from this prayer position, I do this 3 times. I take in a deep breath up above my head. Now, there's different ways to do this, but this is the simple way. I turn my hands out and I spread out my energy field. Energy around. So that's the first one. That's just like kind of priming it. And my hands come back together in my lap. They come back up. And I'm setting my intention. I'm going to open my energy field to receive God or the highest power. And then slowly, I use my mind's eye and disciplined imagination, and I can feel my energy bubble, my field running through my fingers like soft hair. And it comes back. And this is where we use that imagination. We breathing in, stabbing into the energy field, and opening it. And what this does is this creates a container for the spiritual energy to come work with you. It's opening up your bubble. This bubble has vibrational capabilities. And when you use your intention to open it and you're calling the higher source to you, they kind of merge together. And that's usually my first step. There's more I do usually, but that's just kind of a simple way. I start with a prayer. I open up my energy field. And then what I do is I like to take my left hand, I put on my navel, and my right hand on my heart, because I like to connect these 2 fields of energy, my gut and my heart first. So I'm feeling my belly and my navel through the left hand. I'm feeling my heart through the right hand. And then what I do is I just begin taking some breaths, and I fill up my belly, then my chest. And out with a soft sigh. Belly, chest. Belly, chest. Belly, chest. 2 more. Belly, chest. Belly, chest. That's just kind of a priming breath. And you may notice there's already some vibration, some tingling, some lightheadedness. My hands are tingling. And now what I'm doing is I'm using that mind's eye, that disciplined imagination, and I'm making sure I'm making a connection from my belly, feeling the energy in my belly and letting that rise like an elevator to my heart. And they're connected now. And I'm in my mind saying my gut and my heart are connected. And then as the last step, I take that energy and I begin to connect it up into my brain, into my head. So now from my belly to my heart to my brain are all connected. This creates a coherent circuit. Okay. There's more you can do. This is just simple. Okay. This is a simple kind of way for you to begin to connect. A little ceremony to you. And then what I do is I do a few breaths breathing into the belly, into the chest, and into the head. And how I like to do this, okay, this is kind of a different kind of breathing. I do 2 sniffs, sniff, sniff, belly, heart, and then a gasp up into my head, up to the scalp. So I'm moving energy up my body. Sniff, sniff. This is going to feel weird at first. Sniff, sniff, gasp. Sniff, sniff, gasp. All the way up to the top of your head. So right now I can feel all this energy tingling, sizzling at the top of my head. Sniff, sniff, gasp. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Hold this one. Hold your breath. Squeeze into your head. Make your face red. Squeeze your belly. Squeeze your chest. Squeeze your head. Lock all this energy in. And release. Open your hands. Sometimes I hold them up like this or leave them in my lap. And what you're going to notice is a whole lot of vibration. And this is spiritual energy. And these are like little antennas. You have more nerve endings on your hands than most other parts of your body. So you're asking and you can guide. So if there's something going on in your life and you'd like to make some changes, you can call the energy of change to you. Okay. You have that ability because you're part of a living energy field. That's why it's ask and you shall receive. I'm asking for new change, or if you would like some new opportunities, greatest power, could you bring to me new opportunities, new ways of thinking? Can you help me to shift my perspective? There's so many different things you can ask for, right? Show me how to create abundance. Show me how to help others heal. Show me how to cultivate more love in our collective consciousness. Whatever it is you want to ask these questions. Take time to ask. Because another way to look at this, if you're not spiritual, you're also just opening yourself up to the quantum field of living energy and asking questions to your subconscious mind that you're not looking for the answer. How may I bring healing to myself? And you don't try to think about it, because that the thinking mind can only access past experience. The open mind can access new potential and possibility from the field or from spirit. Both of them are the same to me. The field is spirit. That's how I understand. The thing they call quantum field is God. It's living energy. It's living spirit. And however you see it is okay. It's totally all right. Just connecting to what you believe is your highest source. It's what you believe. That's what makes the belief system powerful. What do you believe is the highest source? Pull that here. And then that's what I do. That's kind of like a really kind of watered down version of a little practice that can be very beneficial to you. Opening up, it's ceremonial, it's ritualistic, and again, if you're not a spiritualist, that's okay. Do this in the idea that I'm communicating with the field, like Doctor Strange. Okay. Means the same thing to me. How you see it's up to you. But what I'm trying to explain is like a little blueprint in which you can create a connection into the field, into the spiritual realm. Now that I've opened up all that stuff, that's usually when I may begin to do my actual work. And my work today is I want to talk about 3 styles of breathing. Okay. So there's 3 kind of primary ways. There's hundreds, maybe thousands of types and patterns of breath one can use. And each one attenuates the nervous system differently. Just like I was showing you with the 2 sniffs and the gasp. Big expansion of lungs from the very lowest part to the very highest part, and you can feel the pressure into your head. That's the cool thing about breath, about breathing. Air is also energy. It's light. It's frequency information. So when you're breathing in, you're inspiring, taking in spirit. So you're filling it up in your body full of light. Very powerful. So the first style of breathing I want to talk about is what most people need, and that's relaxation breathing. Okay. You have a hard time sleeping, your mind's running away with anxiety, you're fearful. You're going to a doctor's appointment, you have a public speaking event, something like that, whatever that is. Before, when you're feeling that anxiety, when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling elevated and fearful, you can begin to make that change. But first, it takes your awareness that I want to change. Okay. I don't like how this feels. I don't have to stay here. I'm going to use my primary tool. Primary tool is your breath, because that's how it works here. If you stop breathing, if you stop huffing oxygen, the dream's over, story's over. So how you huff the oxygen has a lot to do with how the dream works, the living dream of your life. So bringing your intention and awareness, you're saying, I want to relax and calm down. And I begin by seeing the word relax in my eyelids, in my closed eyes. I close my eyes, relax. I can see these big white letters, relax. And it's telling me to relax. And now I'm going to tell my body to relax through my breath. And this means filling up with a nice deep breath into your belly and extending a long exhale. Long exhale. So the big breath is one component. You've probably been told that as you're a child or at some point in your life, if you're having a hard time taking a deep breath. But what they forgot to tell you is extend the exhale. Extend the exhale. That elongated exhale tells your nervous system that we're safe. See? It's like a sigh, a soft sigh. I feel my whole body and now That's if you're in a place where you can do that. Say you work in an office or in a public place, you still can do the style of breathing, but you just keep it in your nose. You can keep your eyes open, saying in your mind, it's time for me to relax. I need to relax. And I breathe in through my nose and out through my nose. And exhale in through my nose, out through my nose. Nasal breathing is very powerful. And you can start if you have the capacity, if you're somewhere where you can. I like to, when I do my nasal breathing, I add some vocal tone to it, a sigh or a hum. Feels good. Feels good. Now notice how your body feels by breathing this way. It starts to change everything. And also that vibration that's happening in the throat. This is vibrating your brain stem, creating some frequency and vibration. Also, a big thing that's happening, that vibration is causing the paranasal sinus to vibrate. And when that vibration occurs, what's happening is your paranasal sinus begins to emit or release nitric oxide gas. Something that's a normal thing. We need nitric oxide as a vasodilator, but we have the ability to take control of our nervous system, because in rest and digest mode is where that grows. Extending those exhales with that hum. Now, as your next inhale comes in, you're breathing in all that nitric oxide. Colorless, odorless gas, that's a vasodilator. It dilates all of your lung structures, your alveolar sacs, allowing you to take in more oxygen on the subsequent breath. And then also that passes through into the bloodstream, dilating the blood vessels, opening the blood vessels, lowering your blood pressure, lowering your heart rate, shifting you. All right. There's other things that happen. There's brainwave rate changes that begin to happen. You know, this is kind of getting more into the energetic space. You begin to open your field and connect deeper to spirit. I can go a couple breaths. I begin to open that up right away. I can open up my energy in a big way and start to feel and sense. But at the deepest level, you're allowing everything to relax. Everything's relaxing. I'm relaxed. Saying to yourself, I'm safe and I'm relaxed. This is a very powerful tool for combating anxiety. So many humans have anxiety. More are going to as the ascension process continues, because anxiety is a symptom, and the symptom is a messenger signaling to make an internal change. What happens is we recycle the experience. You recycle all experiences until proper internal change is made. That's how it works here. It's all about changing, adapting. You're here to adapt. And you can begin to adapt by learning how to control your function, right? That's knowing thyself. I know myself because I know how to calm myself down when shit hits the fan. And it's going to hit the fan. I don't care how high you fly. Life isn't all light and love. I don't care what the light workers told you. Life is not all light and love. It's shadow too. And the shadow is just as important. Integrating the shadow. Integrating your fear. I'll talk about the next style of breath next. But first, let's see what's going on. Nardu, a personal session I'm sure is in my future. These podcasts are amazing in themselves. A Nike Kuyaiki. Thank you. I love you. Woof. I can feel your spiritual light, Nardu. Thank you so much. My wife scheduled our isolation tank experience. Cool. Thanks for reminding me. I have 4 of them that I bought because they had a buy one, get one going on. And I was like, oh man, I got to do that. You know, because they're not really cheap up here. They're like $80 a piece at the minimum, sometimes $100 up here for float tanks. I assume you're talking about a float tank. Awesome experience, by the way. I have a feeling you're going to have a big experience. My recommendations are on the way there, do some breath and get there a few minutes early, sit in the parking lot, and then use some power breathing, which I'll show you. That'll be the third thing, powerful breathing. And that opens up a whole bunch of stuff. You go in there and then you take your shower, you float in the tank, far out. So I look forward to hearing about your experience, Nardu. That made me cry, happy tears. Good, Angelica, feel that. Let yourself feel. We're meant to feel. We hide ourselves from feeling because we don't know how to control our emotional output. But the thing is we're meant to feel, you're meant to feel pain. That's where the big mistake happens with the love and light mindset is everything's supposed to be love and light. You want to love the shit that hurts too. And love the stuff you love too. It's all part of the one thing. Whatever we push away, we're separating ourselves from and not allowing ourselves to be whole. Tom says, started the gym for the first time since October in the stint, then walked 3 miles in a forest. Yes, sore, but the fact I could do it all is a miracle. You are a miracle, Tom. You are. Cool. Rocky River. That's where we go. True rest. Cool place. Thanks. You reminded me I have 4 floats to schedule. I love to do that. I'm a big proponent of using some cannabis before you go in a very ceremonial way. I always use cannabis ceremonially. I pray with it and I treat it. I call in the energy. I send love into the universe. And then I like to usually edible. Edible's nice. I'll either smoke it or edible. And then I do my breath work and I go into the tank. Far out experiences. Yeah. At ecstatic dance, I felt lightning come into my third eye. It was like Back to the Future when Doc connects the cables during the lightning storm. That's amazing, man. By you saying that, that keeps showing up in my reality. There's something I just saw about Doc Brown. Very interesting. I'm not sure what it all means, but thank you, brother. That's amazing. I'm so glad the lightning has touched you. Ride the lightning, my friend. All right, so I'm going to go jump back here into breath patterns. So the breath pattern I showed you, relaxation breath. In with a deep breath, out with a long sigh. If you want to do it this way, if it's more you don't want anyone to know, you're in public and having a freak out, you just in through your nose and long out through your nose. And my favorite part of relaxation breath is using in through my nose and humming out through my nose, sending the vibration into my head. Relax. So that's a relaxation style breathing, turning on that parasympathetic nervous system. Okay. Next is balance breathing. This is when you just want to balance. You feel a little off balance. You want to bring some balance into your energy. This is where I do a balanced style breathing. So it's in the same as going out. So maybe it's 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out, 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out. In. Now you can stretch it out a little bit. If that's too fast for you, you can go longer. 5. All right, 5. You can make it even longer. The longer you get them, the more that will begin to take you more into relaxation because you're extending your exhale. So that's balance. You're balanced. I need to balance myself. Sometimes that's just nice at work. You're feeling irritable, a little cranky. You don't feel really bad. You just want balance. This is also the style of breathing I say to bring your awareness to all the time. Be aware of your breath. Aware of your breath. And balance your breathing. Okay. Become aware of your breath is a tool, and the more awareness and control you have of it, the more it changes your life. Third style of breathing. Okay. This is what I call high energy breathing. This is when you make your inhale bigger than your exhale. So inhale bigger, relaxation, exhale bigger than inhale, balance, inhale, exhale, even, speed, energy, aliveness, big inhale, short exhale. So before you're going to do something, right? So I like to use my breath at the gym. And I also train people how to use their breath in the gym. So I'm getting ready to do my set. I'm getting ready to do my exercise. And I don't care what other people think of the gym either. People see me breathing sometimes. I've noticed other people have picked up on it and are starting to do it. So I like to do like 5 to 10 big breaths like this before my set. So maybe I'm doing some dumbbell press. I have some big dumbbells. I put them down and I begin to circulate my air. Notice what's happening. There's more tingling. What you're doing here is you're turning on your nervous system. You're turning on the part of you that's ready for rock and roll. Then I go into my set. After the set, then I go into recovery breath. So that's the relaxation breath. That begins to move me into balance. Getting into my next set. Recovery. Breathe with me. Recovery. Balance. Energy. Deep breath in and hold. Squeeze all your muscles. Release them. Woo-hoo. Lots of tingling and vibration. Okay. You don't have to lift weights to do that kind of breath, as you can see, and that becomes an exercise. You're taking your nervous system through a range. You're training, you're tuning your instrument. It's just like playing an instrument. How do you get good at playing the instrument? You play it. That's what happens. We're playing this instrument. So cycling through those 3 levels of breath can be very powerful in helping you to improve the connection in your nervous system. And this leads into things like heart rate variability, HRV. This is the phenomenon of the heart knowing how to beat for different situations. Contrary to popular belief, having a steady, solid heart rate is not actually healthy. Having a variable heart rate that can apply itself to whatever situations are happening in the body is really what's healthy. And they're able to see this through different sorts of measurements in clinical studies and things. And what they relate this to directly is a person that has a better heart rate variability has more control over their emotions, their nervous system, how they're reacting to things. This is also in alignment. You know, the government trains people this way, like fighter pilots and, you know, Navy SEALs, CIA agents. There's all kinds of ways that these styles of energy and awareness can be used to create vast change. What do y'all think about that? Tell me what you think about the breath. We're coming up on an hour, so we're going to be getting out of here soon. So last call. If anybody has anything they'd like to add, I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, awesome, Tom Shuck. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Grand Rising. Hi, Kelly Roach. It is a grand rising. I'm in here talking about breathing. Again, that's one of my favorite topics. It's mostly because it's so overlooked. It blows my mind, like something that's free and you could just learn on your own and play with. People don't, you know, dive into. But I recommend it. That makes a big shift, a big change. If you're looking to change your life, become more aware of your breathing. And that means just awareness of your breath, not just doing these kinds of exercises. The exercises prime the nervous system. The biggest thing is when you're using your breath, when your awareness of your breath, if you can slow it down, you know, you're working less breaths per minute. You're trying to create less breaths per minute. So most people are breathing somewhere between 16 and 18 breaths per minute. That's anxiety. Okay. A good baseline is somewhere around 8 to 9 breaths per minute. That would be a person who's pretty calm. And then more of a Zen space is when you're in like, you know, 5, 4 breaths per minute, 6 starts to begin there. And then it gets really good is when you can get yourself almost to a whole breath in a minute. But this takes some practice, right? So you start breathing, and what I do is I'll breathe like 10 seconds in, 10 seconds out. 10 seconds in, 10 seconds out. Practice that for a while. So if you're doing 10 seconds in, 10 seconds out, that's one breath every 20 seconds. So how many breaths is that? That's 3 breaths a minute. You're really slow there. Very healing and calming for the body. You can stretch it out 12, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. 30 is a big goal of mine. I haven't been able to master that yet. I've done it a couple of times, being able to slow my inhale to 30, my exhale to 30, 1 breath per minute. Very difficult because you start to have something called air hunger. And air hunger is directly related to our carbon dioxide resistance. Most of us have very poor carbon dioxide resistance because of the high respiration rate due to the being in the head, the incessant thinking. Because whenever you're thinking, you're not present. You're no longer conscious. Your consciousness has gone into thought. You're no longer a consciousness of the world around you. Hard not to do that if you begin to slow your breathing down. Ooh, big ring. I have big ringing in my ear, left ear coming in. Last night was a powerful group. Grand Rising, make it a great day. You too, One Seed. Thank you. Breathwork is ancient medicine. That's right, Tom. I like to say the words ancient human technology. And Zalika says, I wasn't aware how breath can improve our lives in many aspects. Spiritual health, amazing. Yeah, there's so many. I'm just kind of giving you these basic. This is the basic. This is where it starts. It goes deeper. The red pill, the breath is the red pill, okay? It goes a lot deeper. It goes way deeper. But we first have to start, okay? It first has to begin by us doing that. Okay, let's see. Wesley says, Jesus is God. Jesus told you to tell the vision. I agree to that. Okay, I totally agree to that. I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm a religious person. However, I'm a highly spiritual person. And I do work with Jesus. I call him Yeshua in my reality and how he shows up here. I'll show you my favorite picture. This picture I've saved me. This picture was found in a dumpster, near a dumpster in a place I used to live. And it stayed with me ever since. And it means a lot to me because for me, Yeshua or Jesus is a teacher. And what that teacher is, the story of Yeshua for me isn't about Yeshua. It's about us. He's showing us what we can be. Because Yeshua never said, worship me. He said, follow me. That's what it did. And he told us the truth. It's in the scripture. Like, where is heaven? Heaven is a kingdom within you. It's inside you. And you can only access that from this way. You'll never access heaven externally. And that's where religion fails most people, because that's the part of it that's a lie. The part that man's put on top of it, that's made God or Jesus or creation something separate or external from you. When the truth is, all is one living energy, and it is only the fallen ego mind that can create separation. So I have a very, very close relationship with the living energy of Jesus. It's helped me along my journey vastly, and it's helped me to heal miraculously. I've had miraculous healing. And also through that, I'm looking at him right now over here. And also through that incoming energy, it's empowered me to help heal others and help me to connect and to higher versions of myself and frequency. So I agree to that. Hey, you got a lot of stuff popping off here. Let's see what's going on. Kelly Roach says, I twisted my ankle and did deep breathing, focusing on that spot. Amazing how this works. Right. I have something called, there's other things you can do. I have a video that's called How to Manage Chronic Pain. And it teaches you, I can teach you how to begin to heal your physical body. Let's see. While it's true that you are like a man with half a brain in a pit, if you do not tell the vision from Jesus, you shall lose everything you have. I'm not sure if I know what that means. I respect everybody's belief systems, okay? And that's good. But what you'll never do is you're not going to ever force me into your belief system. Jesus appeared to you and told you, tell the vision on February 22nd, 2006. Let me take myself back there, Wesley. Let me think. 06. So 06, February 22nd, 2006. Yeah, February 22nd, 2006. I was awaiting the birth of my daughter. I was a drunk and I was very, very sad and painful. I did not know Jesus yet. So I'm not sure about your time frame. On February 22nd, 2024, the vision shall be open again for one day, and during that day, all the false Bibles shall be erased from the pages for a moment by Jesus. Really? Jesus, I saw the vision of the foot cut off that did not bleed. Please put the taste of honey in the mouths of all the watching the frauds show. Your tarot cards shall also be erased for a moment on February 22nd. Very interesting. Very interesting. I disagree with this. Here we go. You only have the comforter of Jesus when you have the vision. Right here. The King James Bible, Jesus shall not erase, for is the perfect word of Jesus. Absolutely not. It is not the word of Jesus whatsoever. It's a channeling of the Jesus. So this tells me right away, Wesley, you don't actually know what you're talking about. I love you and I respect you, but you're flooding my space now with this misinformation. So I'm not going to give any more attention to these things, but I appreciate you being here. Yeah, these are all just ideas that you have. I accept. One seed. What did Yeshua teach you? Something about no justified resentment. Good stuff. That's right. Very good. That is something he taught me in a very beautiful way, is he taught me about forgiveness. All right. Because I thought I knew what that was. I thought that forgiveness was something you give someone, or I just didn't understand because, we're not actually taught that. And so on a spiritual journey I had where I went deep into a shamanic journey, I do this often, and I met with Yeshua and we sat. And what he did is he began to teach me how to channel or bring in this very fine kind of blue light from the upper world, from the heavens. I could begin to channel in. He showed me how to basically breathe and tune my mind so that way I could bring in this information. And as that beam of information came into me, I began to become aware that I was carrying resentment that I was unaware of. We don't know some of these things because it's part of the subconscious program. And as it began to move through, I could feel the vibration inside of me, and I let it kind of expand. And as that happened, I became aware of the resentment I was holding. And then what I understood is I justified that resentment. I had no idea I did that. Guess what? We all do that. All of us carry forms of justifiable resentment, a form of resentment we've justified. We said, it's okay that I hate this person. It's okay that I resent this person. It's okay. The thing is it is okay. I'm not saying that, emotions are meant to happen. And that resentment's okay that it's there. What you don't want to do is hold on to it, because resentment rots the container in which it lives. Fear and hate and pain, that's all heavy energy that rots the container in which it lives. So what Yeshua told me, what Jesus taught me is there is no justifiable resentment. And even within that, I realized that I was holding resentment towards myself. That's painful when you realize that you're holding resentment towards yourself. Wow, that's really powerful. And it was in that time that he taught me that. So it was a connection to a higher light of forgiveness. And the thing is you can ask that into your heart. You can ask. So the thing is it's not necessarily it's Jesus in the form of like religion has told you, Jesus is the only way. That's not exactly what it means. It doesn't mean this physical idea of Jesus. What it means is the likeness, the energy, the wisdom and teaching of Jesus, right? The second coming is what we're observing right now. It's not going to be one man that comes down and has the power of Christ. It's going to be many of us waking up to remembering that we are already Christ. Not like religion says, I'm this lowly, scummy thing that I should feel terrible and bow in fear in front of God. Those are all ideas that man put in there to keep you separated from your higher self. Works great, because when you're indoctrinated from that from a young age, it becomes part of the subconscious program and you can't escape it. Not until something happens, not until something loosens up and you're able to see a new direction. A little bit different from me. I'm a natural shaman from a very young age. My spiritual immune system rejected all ideas generally of organized religion and things like that. Hey, Wesley, could you please stop with all the comments? It's just too many, and I'm just not really interested in them right now. Yeah, because it's all kind of manic, and I don't think it's really a contribution to anyone. So if you have some wonderful, nice things to say, I like to say those, but if not, I'm going to have to delete you. So yeah, that's what Yeshua taught me, one seed. He taught me how to not to give forgiveness, how to become forgiveness. I was taught through that energy in which again, I'm not a Christian, okay? That's what drives people nuts. Like, I sit here and I can talk lovingly in a great way about the teachings of Jesus. However, I'm not a Christian. I don't agree with the Christian religion, as a matter of fact. I understand that its purpose and what its primary design is true. So what I say is, I don't agree with modern Christianity. Original Christianity was very mystic. It was a very mystical kind of thing. These were shamans. Those who know. That's all the disciples were. They were shamans. Those who know, connected to a higher frequency. That's why Jesus chose them. And then you'd ask, well, that's funny. Why didn't he choose others? Because the others didn't have that. That's why he teamed up with thieves and prostitutes and things like that. Because these people that do those things are the people that actually have the greater connection to source, but they hide from it because it's painful. I was there. I lived a life of crime and drugs and just insanity. That's where I came from. It was like hell. I've traveled through hell and I come here and my life is like heaven. I love it. But that's the primary teaching, I would say, of Yeshua, is forgiveness. Okay. And that's just a word. It's not something you give. It's not something you receive. It's something you be. Just like happy, just like love, just like gratitude. Okay. These are all things you be. It's so much more powerful than me think I am going to give someone love. You can send that energy, but first you have to be it. Gratitude. Don't just give gratitude, be gratitude. Now you're vibrating in the field around you. And what does that do? Brings more stuff for you to be grateful for. Yeah, there's no such thing as justified resentment. So if you're living with a mental idea, if you become aware, these words I'm giving to you are very powerful tools. They can unlock doors. It can help you to become aware, and you just have to be really honest with yourself. All of us have to become very honest with ourselves about the role we play in our own suffering, okay? Which is virtually all of it. Because the problem isn't really the problem. It's the thoughts about the problem is the problem. What if you could change your thinking? What if you could change your heart? What if you could change your gut? You can. It's doable. Wow. Wesley, you just went off, man. You went crazy. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I leave Wesley alone or should I delete him? I'll send it to my group, to my loving group. So we're about hour 8. I'm going to wrap it up now. And since we opened Sacred Space earlier, we're going to close the Sacred Space. And what I do is I stretch my arms out big and wide. And I'm drawing all the energy in my space, all the spiritual energy that's around me, all the life and love that's around me. And I take in a big breath and I gather it over my head. And as I exhale, I bring it down my body, all the way down and through my tailbone into the earth, grounding myself. And then my arms come back around, bring all the energy and down the body once more. There we go. There we go. Yay. I'm laughing at how calm you are staying. A few people have said that to me. There was someone that was kind of off the cuff, I guess I would say, on one of my live streams last week. And I had like 4 or 5 people come up to me like, hey, I really like how you handled that person. And it is through calmness. Calmness is a superpower. I'm not here to fight anybody. And I don't believe that Wesley is. I feel that Wesley what he's trying to do is get out his message. What it is his spiritual antenna is a little bit scattered. I'm picking up the frequency. There's truth hidden within the lies he's telling as well. What he doesn't know is that that's a channel. He's channeling it, and he doesn't know how to use the channel. So it'll grow on him. So I don't have any resistance towards anybody. I love everybody. But, I also have boundaries, and there's only so much I'm going to, tolerate. I try to be very tolerant and loving to everyone, but, and then that's kind of weird when someone says, goodbye till I visit you. Wesley, well, I may see you in astral space. You never know. So hard to at first accept and realize we are the cause of our pain and suffering, but how liberating once the realization does occur. Absolutely, Angela. And that's the whole idea, is that seeing, changing those words even. What if the pain and suffering were opportunities and potentials? What if you change your mind about what you're saying about it? That's why you don't hear me say the word trauma much. It's because it's an energy. Words are energy. That word carries with it a certain type of frequency. Instead of saying that word, I will say emotional data or unresolved emotional data. And when the mind hears that, that seems a lot more doable than the other word, right? Just like if we say pain and suffering. Pain is inevitable. That's going to happen. That's a sensation that's inherent to being a human. Suffering is a choice. That's when we choose to stay in that position unknowingly most of the time. Wesley sounds like me in 1979, just before I was committed to a VA psych ward. That's why I was kind of saying, Tom, I don't feel like he's mean or a bad guy or threatening or anything. I just am picking up that there's a dysfunction in the frequency is what's happening. Just like how you were experiencing, what you're saying, that's your emotional intelligence picking up. It's seeing the reflection in the mirror. Hey, that reminds me of when I was discombobulated or uncoordinated. Delete. He's a bit much. He needs to have his own channel to preach. Okay. Lulu has spoken. Wesley, we're going to put you in timeout. Okay. I'm not going to ban you. I'm just going to put you in timeout. Okay. And all your comments are gone. Okay. Thanks, Wesley. I felt like he was a bit much, but I don't really get bothered by anything. I mean, how does Yeshua feel about men mixing truth with lies in the Bible? Feel necessary. Yeshua doesn't see like I don't. There's no problem. I wouldn't say it's so bad that the men put lies in the Bible. I would say that was necessary because that's going to take people on certain journeys that eventually lead to their awakening. Not necessarily in this lifetime, but that's, there's more than one. You'll have many, many experiences as a human to learn and move through these things. So he doesn't feel anything about it. Okay. He didn't write the Bible. So that's the thing. The Bible's not his. He didn't write it. So he doesn't care. Like, he's like, okay, that's part of the design of this reality, is that man used this as a tool. And what did it do? It's a two-way street, because even though the Bible has lies in it, it's still the underlying truth is there. Okay. So that can definitely have seen it. And it's, even for me, it's opened up parts of my mind and spirituality. Scripture contains deep truth, but it's parable. One has to be able to have the emotional and spiritual intellect and ability to be able to observe and absorb the actual frequency of what's being said in those words. Okay. So it's not really a problem for other people. It's going to lead to forms of suffering, like our friend here. I call that, what I'm picking up is kind of like religious psychosis. He's taking the scripture, but it's a misinterpretation mixing with an actual incoming spiritual frequency. He's having an incoming spiritual frequency, but that is what's creating this, what he's doing here. If you notice, it's like a manic behavior. That's kind of what mental illness, the things we call mental illness is. It's just unorganized energy. So it's not like anything's wrong. It's just built to be that way. So that's what I would say. Now, I like the question though. How does Yeshua feel about men mixing truth with lies in the Bible? He doesn't. He doesn't have anything about it. He just accepts, like, okay, well, that's part of this life and reality and this vibrational frequency. This same Bible doesn't exist in all the other parts of the multiverse. Yeshua does. Okay. So it's all kind of different, and it's not like there's no actual concern with it. There's nothing that needs to happen. The change isn't to be there. The change is to be within. Because once you start to open up here, none of that stuff matters. Hello, Miss Nicole Bilski. Haven't seen you in a while. Happy day. Good morning. Good morning. Well, I'm at an hour 15 minutes, so I think I'm going to jump out of here. It's been an awesome morning. This has been an awesome show. I love this show so much, and I want to thank you all so much for being here and connecting together in this space and having fun. I really, really love that. Oh, let's see what Tom said real quick. I had a religious psychosis as well, but it opened me up and made me so aware. Right. See, that I finally came to partial fruition 5 years ago. Right. So that's just what I'm saying. It's not that there's a problem. Even our friend here, Wesley, he's not a problem for me. It's not about me. What he's saying and what he's doing is about him. And that's a really important point for all of us to pay attention to. Is not to take anything personally. I don't take anything personally. I mean, I'm consistently yelled at by people. But for the few people that yell at me, I got thousands of people who love me. Shit, as a matter of fact, our page was able to have a reach. My page, the Anthony Golden Sunshine page, has over a 1.2 million reach. That means my energy, our energy, has touched out to 1.2 million people that we know about. That compounds because for those 1.2 million people, that energy vibrates from them out into the world. 1.2 million people. I've had interactions in the last week with over 135,000 people. Imagine what that's doing, okay? That's creating big waves of energy into the world. I'm going to expect that it's going to return to me, and with that is going to be some hoocha. Some of that hoocha is going to show up as people who are having spiritual psychosis and, want to kind of be in sort of an abrasive, maybe a attack type mode. That's not about me. How Wesley feels isn't about me. How anyone else speaks about me, says about me, isn't about me. Same for you. How people treat you and what they do, it's not about you. It's a confession of themselves. Same about you. If you're judgmental of someone else, you're hard on someone else, it's telling you about you. Pay attention. Everything's happening inside of you. Wesley. We're just going to put you in timeout. Back in timeout. Put me in timeout. Laugh out loud. From your little toy TV, I've made you shut your evil lying mouth with a spoken word from Jesus like a gentle rod of correction. I am scripture and the little book in Revelation. I find you to be very amusing and fun, but I don't really, I'm not going to put up with that. So I'm going to put you in timeout. We'll time you out, and that's okay. There's no need for you to even be here. Maybe you're just in the wrong place, Wesley. I don't know. But then again, I believe that everything happens for a reason. And what I do believe is Wesley is being here. So that way we can just be okay with whatever someone says. Like, I don't have any reaction to what he's saying. Like, he's attacking me in some sort of way. He's trying to get a rise or a stir out of me, but it's not about me, so I'm not going to do anything. I'll just, okay, we'll just, because it's in three things. I accept that's how it is. And that's what he's here to teach us. And through me, I can show you that. Look, I'm accepting. I accept him how he is. It's okay. I can't change him. Okay. But I can choose to get away from him. Okay. If he's troublesome to others. He wasn't troublesome to me. I put it out to you all. One of the other members said, yeah, let him go because they're probably irritating to that person's frequency. Good. We can take him away. It can go. And you can do this with anything in your life. The first step is trying to accept. If you can accept as it is, whatever's happening, you get a flat tire. All right, I'm going to accept it. There's other things that are a lot more challenging, like injury or death or things like that, you're not going to be able to accept that quickly. And that's okay, because you're meant to go through a cycle of feeling and understanding. That changes as soon as you let go. It's not that repeating a cycle is the worst thing. I mean, it's not. It helps you to learn. The repeating cycles of your life help you to learn who you are. It's not a problem. It's only a problem when you say it's a problem, okay? It's the words that you put into what you're doing. If you sit there and tell yourself, whatever it is you're telling yourself is what you're going to be connecting with in your reality. So if you really want to change your life, the first thing is awareness. What is it I'm saying to myself, and what am I agreeing to? What are the parameters in which I'm deciding to pay attention? Once you become aware of those things, you can choose to let those go and change those using your breath. I release that idea and story. It's not that anything's wrong. I'm not mad at it. It had to happen for me to get here. It's looking at the things you go through as not a sentence or something terrible. There's something that got you to here, a gift. Thank you, but it's time for you to go. Like Wesley, thank you, but it's time for you to go. You've taught us something. Thank you. And then you can take in new information. Reaffirm in your mind, I'm happy. Start there. Are you happy? Ask yourself that right now. Am I happy? Yeah, I'm very happy. I wasn't always. So if you find within yourself you're not happy, the first thing you're going to want to do is understand that you can change the narrative. You can begin to shift the narrative. I am happy, right? And if you can't figure out why you're unhappy, take your time to sit there with that. What are things you can accept, let go of, or change? It's really that easy. Human mind loves to make things overly complex. This actually came up in a group emoji meeting the other day, where I was talking to the group, and I mentioned that the human mind, the ego mind, loves to create complexity when things really aren't that complex. And two of the people in the room were like, well, I don't agree with that. And I was like, well, that's okay. I mean, maybe you like it to be complex. Some people find comfort there. I am complex. I'm a snowflake. You're very unique in every sort of way, but it's your mind that creates conflict, that makes things, it's complicated. Why is it complicated? Because my mind is making it complicated. Is it actually complicated? It isn't. So that's ways to look at things, really powerful ways. And everybody has their own choice. All right. I want to thank you all so much. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you, Angelica. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lulu. And thank you, Angela and Kelly. One Seed. Thank you, Brianna. Did I say that already? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everyone. Nardu, 1 Million Buddhas. We had a nice group here today. Forks Fellowship Council. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. Trish. Wonderful. Angela. Thank you. Two Angelas. I love both of you guys. I love you all so much. I hope you have a beautiful day. I'll be back on Thursday. Join tonight for breathwork group tonight, 7 p.m. Get yourself in there. These are very powerful. Invite your friends. Tell people about it. Share. Also, tomorrow is Wednesday, and I'll be doing an episode of Soar with Zane, Spiritual Odyssey of Awakening and Renewal with Zane. Okay. Don Zane Kerfman, my shamanic teacher. And that will be very interesting. I think we're going to be talking about magic and mysticism tomorrow with two mystics. How fun is that? All right. I love you guys so much. I got to roll. Have a good day. Bye-bye.